this time, I would like to call the meeting to order. Today is Thursday, August 10th, 2023, and this is a meeting of the Rent Stabilization Commission for the City of West Hollywood. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather, currently known as the City of West Hollywood, is the occupied, unceded, seized territory of the Gabrielino, Tonga, and Gabrielino Kizh peoples. Commissioner Bass, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, may we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bass?
Here.
Commissioner Kirpies?
Here.
Commissioner Martz?
Present.
Commissioner Topshin?
Here.
Acting Chair Moore?
Here.
And Chair Wright will be absent for tonight.
We have a quorum. Has everyone had the chance to review tonight's agenda?
Yes.
Would anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Madam Secretary, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bass?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirpies?
Aye.
Commissioner Martz?
Aye.
Commissioner Topshin?
Aye.
Acting Chair Moore?
Aye. Motion passes. We have the minutes from the meeting of July 27th, 2023. Has everyone had the chance to review them?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Madam Secretary, may we have a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Commissioner Bass?
Aye.
Commissioner Kirpies?
Aye.
Commissioner Martz?
Aye.
Commissioner Topshin?
Aye.
Acting Chair Moore?
Aye. Motion passes. Do we have any speakers from the public?
No public comment speakers.
Okay. Next item is the manager report. Mr. Holub, may we have the report, please?
Certainly. Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Chair, Commissioners. Jonathan Holla, Rent Stabilization Manager. Not too much to report tonight. As you know, tonight you have one appeal. The next meeting it's a single appeal. There's two cases, but they've been consolidated. And then we do have another one scheduled for September 14th. I'm sure there'll be more coming. I know there was some interest in information about county-wide eviction levels. I'm gathering data on that now, but I need to do some more work on that along with staff to make some sense of it. And I don't have a current monthly report from BetSetic at this time, so perhaps at the next meeting I'll have a monthly count to see where we are in terms of what the trends are at the moment. That's all I have to report tonight. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Any questions from the commissioners? Okay, thank you. Now we're at the appeals portion of our agenda. We have an appeal before the commission this evening, D4723. Do we have a representative for the tenant and landlord?
The representative for the landlord is present. The tenant had confirmed attendance for tonight, but they are not present in chambers.
Okay. First, we'll hear the staff report from our legal counsel, and then the appellant will speak first. You will have 5 minutes to provide your oral argument. You have the option of dividing your 5 minutes into 2 segments. You may use your part of the 5 minutes to state your case and part of your 5 minutes for rebuttal. The respondent will speak second. You will have 1 5-minute segment to state your case on the appeal subject. When it's time for you to speak, please state your name, city of residence for the record. The appellant will state how you would like to divide your time, if at all, and proceed with your comments. Since your speaking time is limited, it's very important to keep the following things in mind. Keep on topic. The only information you share should be about the appeal topic. New evidence cannot be considered by the commission. You may only discuss issues that were raised at the hearing or evidence submitted to the hearing examiner. Legal counsel, may we have the staff report?
Thank you, Vice Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. My name is John Natalizio, and I am the legal counsel to the Rent Stabilization Commission for the City of West Hollywood. This appeal was filed by the tenant in response to the hearing examiner's decision denying a rent reduction application for issues relating to mold and asbestos, interior and exterior lights, the garbage disposal fence, their air conditioning unit, window coverings, and interior painting. Due to the number of issues in this case, staff will defer to the staff report for analysis regarding each appeal issue. However, in summary, staff believes that there is substantial evidence in the record to support the hearing examiner's decision as to the issues relating to the mold and asbestos, both the interior and exterior lights, the garbage disposal, the fence, the air conditioning unit, and the interior paint. But staff does find that a remand is necessary to resolve the issue relating to the window coverings. Therefore, staff recommends adopting Resolution RSC 23-632. You as the commission have the power to affirm, reverse, modify, or remand the appealed decision of the hearing examiner. The commission reviews the hearing examiner's decision under the substantial evidence standard, which requires the commission to to make sure that there is substantial evidence that reasonably supports the hearing examiner's decision is credible and of solid value. If that evidence is found, then the decision must be upheld, even if there's also evidence that could support a different outcome. The commission does not substitute its judgment for that of the hearing examiner or reweigh the evidence. As it relates to questions of law, the commission applies an independent standard of review to the hearing examiner's conclusions of law. Thank you.
Thank you.
The tenant is present now.
Okay. So the tenant will go first. Okay. I'm going to read the instructions again, since the tenant wasn't here. You will speak first. You'll have 5 minutes to provide your oral argument. You may have the option of dividing your 5 minutes into 2 segments. You may use part of your 5 minutes to state your case and part of your 5 minutes for the rebuttal. Okay, you can come up. Please state your name and city of residence for the record.
Jason Abner.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
Jason Abner. And what am I supposed to state? Sorry.
We see
Say how you would
confirmation
like.
of.
I'm not going to divide my time. I'm just going to read what I have. And I'm sorry I'm late. I couldn't find you guys. Not an excuse, though. Sorry. Okay. Did we start?
Yes.
The landlords wrote in apartment 3A on several receipts. Notice CC 1954 states that 48-hour notice is required for inspections. Gary stated he posted the notice on the 10th and tried to enter on the 11th, which is 24 hours and not 48 hours. I did not install lights in my apartment. From their evidence, the notice was placed in the rain on the 10th. The policeman picked up a soaked notice paper on the ground. He told Gary to email and text future notices in case it rains again. I don't have a washer and dryer in my unit or dishwasher, as Gary states to West Hollywood, along with stating he has blinds in the apartment in 2010 per the unit re-registration. In 2020, the garbage disposal did not work and they did not fix the garbage disposal. Robert Mendoza did not repair the fence. Text messages show he told Jane that the fence couldn't be fixed and needed to be replaced. In an email by Jane, as human beings, we all know a dwelling will have issues in time, and appliances break from time to time. The landlord's evidence was given to the city the day before the hearing. The examiner had it the morning of, and not all of my evidence. The landlords failed to comply with the required 3 days. Jane, who lives in Torrance, sent a group text to everyone in the household of Malcolm Avenue in Los Angeles. They received confirmation of the notice and say they haven't seen the postman in a few days. They told the examiner they were ready to proceed with the hearing, confirmed that they had known about the hearing, and never brought up their mailing circumstances to the examiner. Jane received my evidence 3 days prior and never sent me hers or notified Eric Fountain that she was unable to do so. When I appealed, I then received her evidence by the city. Jane stated in an email to Eric Fountain, this is the 3rd hearing and the 3rd time they were not given proper notice. The landlords have stated that they consistently made all repairs of tenants, including my apartment. My AC unit doesn't use Freon, as it is banned in the state of California, which is another receipt they made up. They used insurance money to repair the AC units, the AC for units 4 and 5 from the fire, and included the receipt as evidence, trying to say it was my AC unit. One receipt is for 1032 North Laurel Avenue. They should make sure they double check the receipts they're forging or having others forge for them. They are under oath. The pictures they provided of lights on building are the other building. Jane states our building is on the right, when in reality it is on the left, and the left is the right. Now they are using other buildings where the lights function properly to show fake evidence. The examiner asked for emails to be forwarded to him, but Eric stated that he was not able to do that and also did not give the examiner all of my evidence that I personally brought to the City Hall. The landlords did not even listen to Ann Warzi, Information Coordinator of Rent Stabilization and Housing Division, and will continue to abuse the system to get their way in any way possible. The landlords state that they're going into my apartment all the time, but yet they also say they're not allowed in. The CC 1954 notice to inspect was not lawfully posted both at my door and 48 hours prior. Not even half my evidence was presented to the examiner. I paid a company to test the mold, and the city has overlooked the positive test results. I never received the landlord's evidence, and it wasn't submitted to the city until the day before the hearing. The landlords paid contractors to make up receipts to go along with their untrue lies. Failure to comply with the hearing examiner's order may result in your evidence being disallowed. Thank you.
Thank you. Does he have time?
He has a minute and 7 seconds.
Okay.
I'll keep it noted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Abner, please come back up.
Oh, I'm not done? Sorry.
We have some questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the evidence issue. You mentioned, I believe the record says you were able to submit 38 pages, or a maximum of 38 pages. Or can you tell me about what you were not able to submit at the hearing?
I submitted all of that to you guys.
I just want to know what about the hearing examiner. You mentioned that you were not able to submit all of your evidence at the hearing. Is that correct? Is my
I
understanding
submitted
correct?
everything that I had, over 100 pictures, Polaroid pictures, and then there were like, I don't know how many sheets of evidence. So I would say like not even a quarter of that, of all of Eric. He kept saying that it had to be done this way, this way. This is the third.
Eric is the representative of the city, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to ask again, the evidence that you actually had with you and gave to the hearing examiner, so what was that? What was missing from that?
All of it. Only 24, by what the appeal stated, it said only 24 something of my pieces of evidence were submitted to the examiner.
Okay. But you had submitted it to the city in
Yes, sir.
advance? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Acting Chair. I have a question regarding the air conditioning. So in the prior case, there was in a prior decision, there was a rent reduction issued for the deficient air conditioning. Is it correct?
Yes, sir. I believe that was for the heating part of the air conditioner.
Not the air conditioner, was the heating part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you continue to receive that $15 reduction?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. No further question.
Any other questions? I have a question. Did you have window coverings when you moved into the apartment in 2010, and what were they?
Yes, ma'am. Curtains.
They were curtains.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you added your own blinds.
Yes, ma'am.
In what year?
2012.
And did you have any pictures that you submitted of the curtains from 2010?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
If I may, an additional question, just for clarification purposes. So that air conditioning unit, it's air conditioner / heater?
Yes, sir. And the thermostat's included in that, so that's where I'm not sure where everything.
And is it
along
a
with you.
window unit? Is it attached to the window? Or
It is
it's-
my own, like, outside big housing unit. It's right outside of my patio.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no further questions right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
The landlord may come up. Please state your name and city of residence, please. And you
Madam
have,
Vice Chair, sure thing. My name is Raymond Wu. I live in San Marino. This is Gary. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Gary, last name Fu, Gary Fu. I'm the manager of the building, 1031 North Laurel.
You want to introduce yourself, and then I can.
so you have 5 minutes. Are you going to split your time between the three of you, or?
No, Madam Vice Chair. I'll go ahead and just cover and then welcome any questions from other commissioners.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, sure thing. So as noted in the staff report that we had heard, Mr. Abner is challenging the hearing examiner's decision, right, regarding mold and asbestos, lights, garbage disposal, fence, air conditioning. Abner is claiming that the hearing examiner's decision is clearly in error, which is not. I mean, you see the mountain of evidence. We have proof right here. It's all here, right? So it's not in error. And that Mr. Abner is also claiming that the decision is not reasonably supported by the findings made in evidence in the record. But if you look at the bait stamp, it starts on page 43, and then it runs all the way to page 377. There is a lot of evidence there. And if you go through the evidence like staff did, very likely a neutral party like the hearing examiner, as well as the city staff, also another neutral party, you will arrive at the very same conclusion. Namely that the allegations regarding mold, asbestos, the lights, the garbage disposal, the fence, air conditioning, the painting are just not true. And you can see the evidence because they're all attached here in your packet that you have. So not only are they not true, meaning that they don't violate the city's ordinances, my brother-in-law has gone out of his way to make sure that he's fully compliant, not just because he wants to follow the law, but really it's human decency. Mr. Abner said it, make it habitable so that basic decent human rights, right, to be able to inhabit that unit. And so that's what my brother-in-law has done. It's the right thing to do, to take care of that unit. Mr. Abner, on the other hand, is not going about this in good faith. I mean, if you read the staff report, look at what the staff report says. Staff report, page 8, section B, the first paragraph. In quotes, it says, tenant had intentionally interfered with landlord's ability to make repairs. End of quote. These aren't our words. This is what the staff wrote. Look on page 8, section B, third paragraph, in quote, right, quotes. Because tenant denied landlord access to enter the unit to inspect and make repairs, that constitutes an intentional act. After the notice of entry was posted, Mr. Abner changed locks. And so what do we do? In the evidence, you saw that they found that the police was called. It's crazy. Staff report, page 9, section B, top of page 9, quote, tenant installed his own lights without landlord approval. Those would not be housing services subject to rent decrease, right? Section B, top of page 9. Now, staff report, page 9, section D, regarding the garbage disposal. Quote, hearing examiner determined that a rent decrease was not warranted due to tenant's refusal to grant landlord access, end of quote. Staff report, page 10, section E, regarding the air conditioning unit. Quote, tenant has refused access to inspect air conditioning, end of quote. The list goes on. It's all in the staff report. These were written by a neutral third party who evaluated the evidence. So if you look at page 12 of the staff report, section 6, that's the conclusion. Look what it says there. It says, quote, again, not our words, staff wrote this. There is substantial, emphasis on substantial, evidence in the record to support the decision. It's not even a close call. It's not a flip of a coin. So what we urge you commissioners, Mr. Abner's madness, this has to stop. My brother-in-law is going about this in good faith. Mr. Abner has to play along. My brother-in-law is not breaking the law. The appeal is what it is. You heard the staff report, and we urge you to accept it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions?
I do have a question.
Okay, Commissioner Kirby.
So did I understand you correctly that you're stating that before you start talking about the denial of entrance, did you state that the hearing examiner didn't agree with the tenant on these issues?
Yes, so I cited, was it 5 phrases? There's actually more where the tenant is shown to not be engaging through this process in good faith. And so these are what either the hearing examiner wrote or the staff wrote. So if you look on page 8, section B, the first paragraph, there's a quote in there that has tenant had intentionally interfered with landlord's ability to make repairs.
I guess my issue is with a statement that you made prior to that was, and I think it was specifically, you may have referenced others, but there was specifically about the air conditioner, I believe.
Okay. If you point to where the location is, I have the staff report. We can find it.
Well, I'm less concerned about the staff report than I am about what
sorry.
actually, what the actual hearing examiner decided. And I guess I just want to understand your argument that you're stating that in addition to denying, I mean, I understand the argument about not denying or denying access, and I understand that. So, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just wondering about your statements about whether the hearing examiner found in favor of the tenant or not on some of these issues, because how I read the staff report is that many of these issues were legitimate, but the tenant made a mistake by not allowing access, which then relieves you from the landlord from their responsibilities. So I just want to make sure that we're hearing the truth from both sides, and you're making allegations that he's not being in good faith.
Absolutely. Commissioner, we respectfully disagree that the air conditioning unit is being, I guess, denied a decrease because he doesn't have. It's more than that. Isn't there more evidence?
Hold on. So you're saying that these are legitimate issues that he brought forth in good faith. We disagree with that statement.
Okay.
Okay. There's been a long history with this tenant of.
No, I'm sorry to cut you off. I was just very specific about your representative's comments about what the hearing examiner determined. And the hearing examiner did not determine on certain issues that the tenant was wrong. What the hearing examiner ultimately decided was that on some of these issues that it was moot because he didn't allow access.
On some of them, but not all of them.
Yes, you're right. Some of them, not all of them.
Most of them, I would say, he found that there was substantial evidence to substantial evidence to not decrease the rent because of the.
No, I understand. Thank you. I was clarifying the comments that were made because I interpreted what was said as not like what you just said.
Okay.
But I understand. I understand that there's just
some
differences.
things we want to clear up is that the landlord has never provided curtains. Okay, the only thing the landlord has provided.
No, I understand.
blinds.
I wasn't asking about curtains. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Any other questions? By the way, my name is Christina Wu. I am his other sister.
And the blinds were there from the day that the tenant moved in?
Yes, blinds. All the units have blinds. He put up his own curtains.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that Mr. Abner has another minute and change.
Sorry, can we
Oh, yes.
clarify one more issue? We want to also clarify the building has like 2 identical apartment complexes that face each other. Mr. Fu owns one of them. The other one is owned by a completely different landlord. They have nothing to do with us. So any repairs or anything, they're completely different. Okay, so there's no confusion of invoices or anything like that because we do not take care of or fix or amend the other complex that's facing. It used to be owned by 2 brothers, but then they sold it to different owners. Okay, so just to clarify that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Abner, would you like to?
Thank you.
I've never spoken. Obviously, you can tell they're much better. Sorry. All I have to say is the notice CC 1954 states that in an inspection, they have to give 48-hour notice. It was only 24-hour notice if you guys want to say that it was posted. Either way, the whole thing should be voided because it was not 48 hours. I forgot what I'm sorry. I just went blank, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, one more thing. It assaulted me. That's considered harassment under the COVID law. So I have those to help me as well, if anything. And all of my evidence was not submitted. So they got all of their evidence submitted. All of theirs was used, but not even 25% of mine was used. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners?
Just wanted to, again, going back to the air conditioner and thermostat, after that, in the first decision that was made granting you $15 rent reduction, did the landlord perform any work on that air conditioner?
No, sir. There's even still stuff pending from the first hearing back in 2021, I believe.
But I think there was a testimony that the $200 were paid. Invoice showed that there was some service done to the unit's air conditioner.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat
I
that?
said that there is a testimony from, I believe, from the landlord that there was $200 spent on the service to the air conditioner. I can't figure out when, but it was some time. So you are not aware of any filter change or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Acting Chair, may I ask the owner's representative to come back for
Please.
the same question?
Please come. Can we give him some water?
Yes, thank you. The same question. I need to understand if there was any work that was done after the initial decision that was granted $15 rent reduction to the air conditioner, because I see some statements here that there was $200 paid invoice. I mean, there was $200 paid and there was an invoice that shows the service was performed to the unit's air conditioner. So I want to know what type of work was, if any work was done.
When you say the original decision, you mean from this?
I mean, not the original decision, but I mean in the previous case, there was a $15 rent reduction. So my question is, when the $15 rent reduction applied, and after that case, there was any work done to the air conditioner?
Yes. I mean, it said before, the $200 invoice, as you saw, that where work was done. So, and they went and checked out the air conditioning unit and said it was working fine.
Okay. And what's the reason why you never contacted the department to ask for a compliance determination because the air conditioner was working and you spent $200 or whatever the amount was to restore the rent, if you believe that the air conditioner was fixed?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
I said, if you did repair the air conditioner, why didn't you go back to the department and to asking to restore the rent, the $15 rent reduction that was applied?
Well, There's been several hearings.
No, his question is, why didn't we go back? You're absolutely right.
Please make sure to speak into the mic.
You're absolutely right. We should have gone back. It's one of the things that my brother-in-law should go back because it's an extra $15 a month.
Okay,
It's,
but there is evidence that work was done to the air conditioner.
It was done, yes.
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you. So Gary, you need to go back to city. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
If I may ask a question.
Please do.
Yeah, Mr. Natalizio, so I guess stuck with that air conditioner issue. In my opinion, if there was a prior case determination, why the examiner just didn't deny this rent decrease application for that particular reason, because it was a prior case, instead of saying the tenant refused to provide access or anything like that. What's your understanding?
I don't have an understanding as to why the hearing examiner missed that, but I believe I noted that in my staff report that in addition to the hearing examiner's findings about the intentional act, that there was already a rent decrease in place, and so the hearing examiner should have addressed that at the hearing, and so that should have also been a basis for denial as well.
So that would be just basically a reason for a denial, right? Because there is a $15 rent reduction currently in place.
Correct.
And we heard from the landlord that there was no compliance determination request.
Right. In the appeal packet, there is a compliance determination based upon this prior decision you're talking about, and there's a number of issues that they sought a restoration of the rent. And it was granted, and one of the items not in there was the air conditioner. So they did go back for certain items. So it could have just been an error or a mistake on the landlord's part. But yeah, if they believe they've complied with the prior order, then the proper channel for that is a compliance determination.
And I think the final question regarding this issue, do we need for the, to be kind of more accurate, for in the resolution, do we need to amend it just to say that the rent reduction for the AAC, the air conditioning, is denied because there is an application? There was a previous case, and the tenant continues to receive the $15 rent reduction versus what the reason used currently by the examiner.
Give me a second. Let me just look at the resolution, because if I didn't address it, then yeah, we probably.
Of course, if it's there, yeah.
Sure. Give me 1 second.
It's at the top of page 7, sub W. I see it does note that. It says both that the hearing examiner is correct. So it's worth noting that a rent decrease is already in effect from D-4657 for $15. So I think it covers both.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Moritz.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Kripes?
Yeah. So I'm understanding that in this case, the landlord was denied one time to come into the unit. I don't remember reading anything about the locks being changed. Was that new evidence?
That was not something that I'm aware of factually.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss that. Okay, and we have no evidence. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Deliberations?
Chair, before deliberations, you just have to close the public hearing portion.
Okay. Oh, I closed the public hearing portion of this meeting.
I have a quick question for staff.
Yes.
We heard testimony that a 48-hour notice is required, but there are references throughout the hearing examiner and the staff report about 24-hour. Can you enlighten me about what the law is on that?
Yes, I'm not sure, I guess, what the 48-hour notice referenced by the tenant is under Civil Code Section 1954. The law states that a reasonable amount of time is presumed to be 24 hours unless there's evidence to the contrary. So I'm not sure where the 48 hours is coming from, but the Civil Code Section 1954 says 24 hours is presumed reasonable.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion in regard to this appeal?
I'll start
Right.
with just
Okay.
quick comments.
Great.
I would support the hearing examiner's decision. I think there's substantial evidence in the record on each of the items here. I was going to bring that up. It's 24 hours presumed reasonable. I don't see anything that's been stated here that shows us that that is not a reasonable amount. I've done in my prior law career, landlord-tenant law, I still dabble in it, and every court that I know, 99% will say 24 hours reasonable, unless there's some exigent circumstance where I've seen where a person has a very severe disability and they need more time. They have a very large family and, 24 hours, they can't get the house clean, something like that. But barring something exceptional, 24 hours. And so I see that that was done in this case. I know we've had cases where landlords and tenants have issues with letting each other in. I just emphasize that collaboration and cooperation gets things fixed a lot quicker and with less drama and stress than a lack of. And, I'm not going to look at the dates when all these were filed, but I know that it's been quite a while, months and months. So, no judgment on either of the parties, but the more you can work together, things get fixed quicker and simpler. So I don't see anything in here that would dissuade me from the hearing examiner's decision. So I would support the proposed resolution from staff.
Commissioner Martz, I just want to make sure the staff's recommendation for at least the window coverings is a remand. So I just wanted to make sure if you were on board with that.
Yes, you're right. I'm on board with that portion as well.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Bass?
I echo what Commissioner Martz said. However, I do take a little bit of an issue with the remand in that looking at all of this evidence, the landlord says it was there, the tenant says it wasn't, and the hearing examiner made a call that they didn't believe that it warranted a reduction. So there's conflicting testimony, and I know staff's report points out that there's some inconsistencies in the record. And I'm not sure if the hearing examiner was looking at the prior case where one of those inconsistencies exists, and I'm not sure that that was part of the record that they were looking at. Are you shaking your head? Yes, it was, or?
So they included the prior decisions as one of their exhibits, the hearing examiner.
Okay, I appreciate knowing that. I was unclear about that. Also, on page 8 at the top, item C, this is in the resolution. It says the hearing examiner ultimately determined that window coverings are required every year. I think that's a mistake either in the resolution that needs to be corrected or the
Should be
hearing
every
examiner
7
made
years,
a-
yeah.
or the hearing examiner made a mistake.
Yeah. Thank you for finding that.
So we'll need to fix that in the resolution, but I will hear what my colleagues have to say about the remand, but I'm not convinced that anything needs to be remanded. I'm prepared to support the hearing examiner's decision in full.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Trapian?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, after what I heard and the testimonies by the parties and the staff, read over and over the staff support, I believe the staff's recommendation is correct, and I have really nothing much to add to what Commissioner Martz already have said, and I would support the recommendation of affirming in part and remanding in part of the examiner's decision. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner
Thank you.
Cookies?
And yeah, I would agree that I agree with the staff's recommendation, which includes remanding the issue of the blinds. I feel like even tonight we heard the opposite of what I read, but So yeah, let the hearing examiner determine that. I do want to echo what a fellow commissioner talked about. You know, you both seem like very nice parties, and some of these are, you know, if there are damages or if if all of these things are correct, these are all easy fixes. So I think that the two of you can just hopefully cooperate and resolve these issues, because these are pretty mild ones. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm also in agreement with my colleagues and staff's recommendation on this issue. So, would anyone like to make a motion in regards to this appeal?
I'll make a motion. To adopt resolution RSC 23-632, a resolution of the Rent Stabilization Commission of the City of West Hollywood, affirming in part and remanding in part the hearing examiner's decision as to application number D-4723.
I will second that.
Commissioner Topshin, does that motion include an amendment to the resolution that under section 4, number 2, subsection C, that it'll say the hearing examiner ultimately determined that while the RSO requires new window coverings every 7 years?
I would include that in the motion, yes.
Right, thank you.
And I would second as amended.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. May we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioner Bass,
I'm going to vote no because I don't think we need to remand.
Commissioner Kerpes,
Aye.
Commissioner Martz,
Aye.
Commissioner Topshin,
Aye.
Chair Moore.
Aye. Motion passes. If the parties have any further questions, you can reach the Rent Stabilization Division at 323-848-6450, by email at rsd@weho.org, or you may request an in-person appointment online at weho.org under the services menu. Mr. Holub, do we have a presentation for the item for unfinished business?
New business from staff.
Okay. And no comments from staff?
I just want to, I didn't mention during my comments, so I just want to mention that I think all of you know that there's the annual Congress of Commissions coming up on August 23rd, 6 to 8. I'll be there. I've been told no plus ones, just so everyone knows. Also, based on some comments that were made this evening, I want to point out to parties, anyone listening, that the division offers no-cost mediation. Again, if you're interested in that, anyone who's interested in that, landlords, tenants, to call the division or email the division, rsd@weho.org. Thank you.
Anything?
No public speakers at this time.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioner comments? Okay, thank you.
I have one. I was speaking with a former member of this commission casually the other day, and we were talking about the inspections that are required, that the city provides in Los Angeles, where they go and inspect units, but we don't do in West Hollywood. As a new commissioner, I don't know if this is something we should talk about offline, or if it's something that would interest my fellow commissioners. Apologies, since we have mostly veterans up here right now. But I would be interested in hearing more about why West Hollywood doesn't actually inspect units the way that the city of Los Angeles does. And not that it needs to happen now. But that's something that interests me.
Yeah, there's something going on, so I can talk to you about that afterwards.
Yeah, okay.
It came from council, actually. So.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay. This meeting is adjourned to the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Rent Stabilization Commission to be held on August 24th, 2023 in West Hollywood Park Public Meeting Room, Council Chambers. Thank you. Thank you.